system is V1 of n, which is equal to x2n. And now we're going to do, second we'll do for step 2 here, time shift, which is W1 of n, which is equal to V1 n minus n9, keeping this general, which is equal to x2n. Let's put a prime for the n here, where n prime is evaluated to be equal to n minus n9, which is equal to 2, or x 2 n minus n naught, working through this algebraically, which is equal to x 2n minus 2n naught, like that. So that's the A part. That's the top branch. That's the system first, which is step 1. Then the time shift is the second, which is step 2. And gave us an output, which is this map. Now let's compare that mathematically to the opposite order, B, which is to do time shift first. Then system second. Now if I do it that way, my first step is time shift W2n. I call this W2n because it's not exactly the same as the first one. It's just xn, where, let's put an n prime here, where n prime is equal to n minus n naught, which is equal to x n minus n naught. What I've done is make that substitution. And then what I'm going to do is the system, which is V2 of n, which is equal to W2, what I just got, of n, not of n, of 2n. That's its definition. W2 of 2n. That's what this says is take everywhere I have small n, I'm not going to touch n0. Everywhere I have an n, I put a 2n. That's what that means mathematically. So that's going to be equal to x 2n minus n. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is compare. And the comparison I'm going to make is W1n, is that equal to V2n? And the answer is no. That's the mathematics. Once you do inside of those square brackets. That's a precise way of what we were just doing physically with the block diagram and the stem plot. The mathematics say it's not time invariant. Okay? I didn't need to find a counterexample. I'm proving this for any value of n now. Okay? Now let's go ahead and work another example. The second example. Example 2. Now this time will be the first time I prove something is time invariant. For this particular example, I'm going to say, take my input, go ahead and accumulate it. I'd like to make that a k. That's x of k. K going from minus infinity to n. And the answer is going to be yes, it is time invariant. And let me prove this for you. Can't prove it by counterexample because it's always true. So the way I have to prove it is by using these two kind of steps. So the first thing I'm going to do is do the system. V1 of n, I'm going to use the same names for the intermediate variables. That's just the definition of the system. K going from minus infinity to small n, xk. Then what I'm going to do is time shift. That's I for step 1, double I for step 2. That time shift on it. So the time shift is going to be W1 of n. I can put these notes on the web because I'm writing pretty fast now. So all the stuff I'm reading from, I actually have nicely formatted so it's easy for you to read. If you miss one of the variables or something, I'll put this on the web to speak for you. So the time shift we now have is W1 of n is V1 of n minus n naught, which says, now we have to pay attention to what's where. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this whole equation, which is the system, sk, the accumulator system, which goes from k equal minus infinity. I'm going to use just a temporary variable n prime. And I'm going to say n prime gets n minus n naught. That's how I define my time shift, like that. And once I go ahead and do that, that's like saying taking that same sum, you keep the k there without any problem, sk, and at the top, instead of putting n prime, I just put n minus n naught. Like that. That's all I've done. That's the time shift calculation. So the system followed by the time shift gives me that result for my alpha. Now that's A. I want to compare that with commuting the two operations, the system and the time shift. So part C is to do the time shift first. Time shift first, which is W2 of n, which is equal to x of n, I'll put an n prime here temporarily, which is equal to n prime equals n minus n naught, that's our time shift. And I can say that's equal to x of n minus n naught. Obviously, that's just the time shift in my input. Obvious things to say, I'm just being precise with my notation. Then the system is, let me put this I in here. Stop that again. The system itself after the time shift is going to look like this. The system will be V2 of n equal to my definition, which is k going from minus infinity to small n. Instead of putting an x in there, it will now be W2 of k, which is going to be, let's make that substitution for what WK is if we have from above. What W2k is going to be the same summation limit, k going from minus infinity to n, instead of W2k at the top from above, x, not small n, but k minus n naught. My dummy variable has changed from small n to k when I'm working with that sum. So now what I can do is I can look at what I just ended up with. So this is interesting. I'm going to compare this to this. I'm going to ask the question, are they the same? And I started this problem by saying that it is time invariant, which means they should be the same. And if you look at this superficially, they don't look the same. Yeah. Well, you got it. You got it. Okay? That you can make a change in variables. Okay? Let's do that. So they are the same. Okay? Let's do exactly that. So while superficially these appear to be different equations, let's go ahead and make that change in variables. Let's make a variable substitution. K prime equals k plus n naught. And I'm going to stop at that point, and I'm going to leave the rest for you to look at this weekend. And my claim is those two are the same. I'm going to prove that it is time the same. We're going to work through some more examples like that. The completion of this problem, the completion of the examples of this will be on the web by Sunday. Likewise, your notes for next week. Likewise,